Chapter 11:16. Grandpa, are you going to make a call? Huang Ling came up and asked carefully when she saw him looking at her phone. She did not dare to ask too loudly for fear of angering this stubborn old man. I'm checking to see if you have called the police. The old man held the phone tightly. It was obvious that he did not intend to return the phone to Huang Ling. Huang Ling suddenly changed her attitude and said to the old man with a cheeky smile, I haven't called yet and you've already snatched my phone. She reached out and smiled carefully. Grandpa, my phone. The old man pulled a long face and snorted. Come with me for dinner first. I'll return your phone after dinner. Aren't you? Like a robber. The old man blew his beard and glared. What am I? Huang Ling said listlessly, robber. So what if I'm a robber? The old man pointed at the bag next to him. Carry it and follow me. After saying that, he walked away. Huang Ling was stunned for a few seconds and looked at the old man's back view. The way he walked and his steps were very tough. His back was very straight, as if he was not the one who had fallen and scraped his skin. Sigh, Grandpa. Huang Ling came back to her senses. She grabbed the sack and caught up with the old man. His body was so strong that it did not take long for him to walk so far. The old man did not seem to be very familiar with the surrounding environment. He stood by the roadside and looked around. When Huang Ling caught up with him, he asked, Are there any restaurants nearby? Huang Ling was a little out of breath from running. She panted a little and said, There are many restaurants nearby. What do you want to eat, Grandpa? Sigh, since she was already involved in such a situation, she could only go to work later and accompany this grandpa of hers for a meal. The old man tilted his head and looked at Huang Ling's chest. Because she was panting, the rise and fall of her chest was obvious. The old man pursed his lips. You have to train. Weak. Huang Ling nodded. Yes, yes, yes. I will train more in the future. Grandpa, what do you want to eat? Is there a Axian restaurant here? Axian restaurant. Isn't that a world-famous chain restaurant? Huang Ling was surprised. If I wasn't famous, would I know about this restaurant? The old man snorted proudly. Are you going to eat at this restaurant? Huang Ling asked. Could it be that you want to take me to a food stall to eat fried noodles or soup noodles? The food stalls also have good food. I want to go to Axian restaurant. Huang Ling had a bitter face. I didn't bring my wallet. It's in the office. The money she had with her was money to buy water. In total, it was about 100 yuan. Is there a bank card tied to the phone? Huang Ling's eyes widened. Yes. Did she dare to say no? He would open it. The phone was in his hand. It was the first time that Huang Ling felt so frustrated that she was completely under the control of an old man. Actually, she could snatch the phone back and point at the old man to scold him. However, she didn't know why, but she felt that this old man was not as simple as picking up trash. His gaze made her not dare to resist. It's fine as long as you have it. Don't you have any savings in your card? What a strict question. Huang Ling had to nod. I have savings. Where is Axian restaurant? If it's far, we can take a taxi. If it's not far, we can walk there. Your injury won't kill you. Huang Ling lowered her eyes and looked at the injury on his foot. I'm so hungry that my stomach is in the way. Chapter 11:17. Then let's hurry up and eat. Huang Ling pointed at a street in front of them and said, Axian restaurant is on the street in front of us. Hearing this, the old man put his hands behind his back and strode forward. Huang Ling dragged the sack and followed. There were not many bottles in it, but, Grandpa, Grandpa, throw these things away. Huang Ling trotted to catch up. This old man walked quite fast. Throw. When the old man heard this, he suddenly stopped and straightened his back. He looked at Huang Ling sternly. Why should I throw it away? I picked it up with great difficulty. We can't carry a bag of trash into Aoxian restaurant, right? That was a star restaurant. Not us. Now you're the one who's carrying it. Huang Ling wanted to cry. She muttered, if I had known, I wouldn't have saved you. No matter how soft her muttering was, the old man still heard it. He smiled gloatingly. It's too late to regret it now. Huang Ling squinted at him. Aren't you afraid that I'll call the police and say that you stole my phone? Then you'll regret it even more. What a joke. I'll go to work as soon as I get my phone back. What's there to regret? I'm your grandpa. The old man said with certainty. I already said that my grandpa died when my mom was not yet an adult. Huang Ling was speechless. Silly girl. If you want your phone back, follow me with the bag. There's a sanitation worker in front. I'll give the bag to him, okay? No. Huang Ling was yelled at and suddenly didn't dare to make a sound. Just like that, Huang Ling led the dirty old man into the world-famous chain restaurant, Aoxian restaurant, while dragging a gunny sack filled with bottles and cans. Aoxian restaurant was elegantly decorated with a romantic and luxurious style. The environment was beautiful. Even if it was full of customers, it wouldn't be noisy. The expenses here were very expensive. It was 20% more expensive than a star hotel. However, the taste here was first class. Therefore, the people who came to eat here were either rich or prideful. It was the first time the waiter had seen a customer like Huang Ling, who was carrying trash and a dirty old man after working here for so long. The appearance of Huang Ling and the old grandpa had attracted many freaks. Just the thought of it was terrifying. Of course, the waiter's attitude was not as courteous as when he treated the noble and well-dressed guests. As soon as they entered, a waiter came up to them. It seemed like he wasn't here to welcome them, but to stop them. Are you two here to eat? Before Huang Ling could open her mouth, the old man spoke first. He even said coolly, if you're not eating in a restaurant, are you going to poop? When Huang Ling heard this, she couldn't help but laugh. The waiter was embarrassed for a while, but soon, he looked at the old man with a look of disdain. He despised him in his heart. How uncivilized. Poor man. But in our restaurant, the cheapest dish costs 68 yuan, and it's all vegetables. Other dishes are even more expensive. Are you afraid that we can't afford it? The old man interrupted and glared at the waiter. Or do you think that I'm dirty and want to chase us out? The waiter did have such thoughts, but the manager said that everyone who came in was a customer. She couldn't make it too obvious. He also said that he could afford it. The waiter quickly shook his head and put on a fake smile. Of course not. Since the two of you are here to eat, please come in. Chapter 11:18. Humph. The old master harumphed and strutted into the restaurant with his hands behind his back. Huang Ling dragged the sack and followed closely behind. Looking at the back view of the old master, Huang Ling was deeply puzzled. This old man didn't seem like a poor old man at all when he entered such a luxurious restaurant. Also, the authority that he spoke with wasn't something that an ordinary old man would have. Most old men of his age would be very kind, wouldn't they? They sat down at a table inside. Huang Ling wasn't hungry. She flipped through the menu and looked at it casually. The old master started to order. Braised eel in soy sauce. When she heard the name of the dish, Huang Ling hurriedly searched for it. When she saw the price of the braised eel in soy sauce, she frowned. It was so expensive. After the waiter noted it down, the old master ordered the next dish. Wild beef brisket. Huang Ling hurriedly found the wild beef brisket and looked at the price. Holy shit, it was so expensive. Japanese wakayama salad with mushrooms. When she saw the price, Huang Ling started to feel her flesh ache. This old man seemed to be picking the most expensive dishes. Buddha jumps over the wall. Huang Ling could hear her heart bleeding. She raised her head and winked at the old master. However, the old master didn't seem to see it at all. He continued to order leisurely. Big lobster, big crab. That's enough, Grandpa. I've already eaten. You don't have to order so much. Huang Ling couldn't hold it in anymore. Her flesh was throbbing in pain. The old master rolled his eyes at her. You've eaten. I haven't. I'm hungry. Give me a serving of pickled pepper frog leg. Huang Ling's eyes widened. This frog leg was expensive. Even though it wasn't a rare dish, this price. Huang Ling suddenly felt that this restaurant was robbing her. Why did it cost so much just to eat a serving of frog leg? Papaya for the imperial concubine, chicken tea fragrant chicken, and a medium jar of caterpillar soup. The old master ordered those 3 dishes in one go. My heart hurts. Huang Ling lowered her head, looking like she wanted to cry but had no tears. Both Grandpa Xing and the waiter heard her words. They could have paid after eating, but hearing her words, the waiter showed a professional smile and said to Grandpa Xing, "My rules here are that you have to pay first before you can serve the dishes." Grandpa Xing handed over Huang Ling's phone. Alipay, WeChat. Can I pay? The waiter nodded and smiled. Sure. Grandpa Xing looked at Huang Ling, go with her to settle the bill. Huang Ling felt her heart ache. Go ahead. There's no password. Oh. The old man got up and followed the waiter to the cashier to scan the QR code and pay. When he returned, the old man was holding a bottle of brandy in his hand, 87-year-old wine, 8,000 a bottle. When Huang Ling heard this, she suddenly raised her head and pointed at the wine on the table in shock. 8,000 a bottle. Sitting down, Grandpa Xing handed the phone back to Huang Ling. The bill for the food and wine has been paid. You can leave now. Huang Ling snatched the phone over and checked the text. When she saw the text from the bank, Huang Ling was shocked, 23,000. She looked at Grandpa Xing in horror. You took 23,000 from me for a single meal. You haven't seen one more text. Wine, 8,000. I just sent it later. Grandpa Xing replied casually. When Huang Ling heard this, she hurriedly checked the text and burst into tears. I don't want to live anymore. To think that I would be cheated of 30,000 just to be a good person. Do you have any cash on you? Grandpa Xing asked. Chapter 11:19. What? Huang Ling suddenly raised her head and glared at the old man. Don't tell me you're going to take all the 100 yuan I have on me. No need. Just leave 80 yuan for me to get a taxi. Leave the money and you can leave. The moment Huang Ling heard that, she was enraged. You want me to scram after ordering? At least let me have a few bites, right? You stubborn old man. When the old man heard the last sentence, he raised his eyebrows in amusement. Stubborn old man. This title was the first time he had heard it since he was old. The old man looked at Huang Ling sternly. My granddaughter respects me and has never dared to talk back to me. Huang Ling said in annoyance, if I were your granddaughter and you went overboard with me, I wouldn't just talk back to you. I would even pluck out your beard. When the old man heard that, he instinctively touched his chin. I would pluck out my beard. Thankfully, I'm not your granddaughter. You're my granddaughter. I've said it twice. My grandfather passed away a long time ago. Furthermore, my mother is from K country. You're obviously a foreigner. I don't have a grandfather like you. Just then, Maupassant called. Huang Ling was holding the phone in her hands. From the old man's angle, he could see the caller ID. Seeing that Brother Mo was calling, the old man asked, Brother Mo is your husband? Huang Ling glared at him in annoyance. I'm not going to tell you, old man. The moment Huang Ling picked up the call, she could not help but complain to Maupassant. Brother Mo, I'm unlucky. I deserve it. I saw a foreign old man fall and I helped him up out of kindness to treat his wounds. But somehow, he cheated me out of 30,000 yuan. I'm so pissed. Dressed in dirty clothes and picking up trash, he wanted to order the most expensive dishes and soup from a Axian restaurant. He even bought an 8,000 yuan bottle of foreign wine. 30,000 yuan. Brother Mo, do you think it's easy for me to earn 30,000 yuan? My whole body hurts. Luckily, I don't have balls. If I did, my balls would hurt. Huang Ling looked at the old man and said angrily, I'm on fire now. My whole body is on fire. I'm going to burn. Grandpa Xing remained silent as he listened to Huang Ling's call. At this moment, the waiter who served them earlier brought over some peanuts, pickles, and tea. Grandpa Xing asked, Do you have iced black tea? The waitress's attitude towards the old man was not as bad as before. She smiled sweetly. Yes, 68 yuan per cup. When Huang Ling heard that the old man wanted to order something, she didn't care about Maupassant anymore. She glared at the old man. Why did you order iced red tea? Didn't you order soup and wine? You smelly old man, can you eat so much? When the waiter heard this, his eyes twitched and he looked at Huang Ling strangely. Why was this woman so rude to the elderly? Grandpa Xing was neither angry nor irritated. The iced black tea is for you. I don't want it. It was a few yuan bottle outside. She couldn't afford it here. Grandpa Xing raised his white eyebrows. Aren't you heady? Your whole body is on fire. Drink iced tea to cool it down. The more you order, the hotter I get. Oh, forget it then. I won't order any more. Grandpa Xing's tone was so relaxed that it drove Huang Ling crazy. After the waiter put down the food, he left. Huang Ling put the phone back to her ear. Maupassant's clear and pleasant laughter came from the other end. Huang Ling asked anxiously, Momo, what are you laughing at? Chapter 1120. Momo. When old Master Shen heard that, his eyes flashed with interest. Why did this name sound like Patty? Old Master Shen propped up his head and looked at Huang Ling with interest. Huang Ling got angry at the sight of him. She turned her body and decided not to look at him. She continued to complain to Maupassant, I won't be so kind in the future. People say that you can't help an old man who fell on the road. Correction, I fell at the entrance of the park, not the road. Old Master Shen raised his hand and waved it a few times, trying to get Huang Ling's attention. Huang Ling glared at Old Master Shen. That fierce expression of hers seemed to be threatening him. If you speak again, I'll slap you. Old Master Shen saw her like this and could not help but laugh. That smile was like a mischievous child. Brother Ling, don't be angry. Isn't it just $30,000? I'll transfer the money to you later. Don't be angry over that little money. If you hurt your body, my heart will ache. Maupassant's tone was always so gentle. Hearing that, Huang Ling's heart skipped a beat. She really wanted him to be by her side and let her hug him. Actually, I'm not worried about the money. I'm worried that my kindness was not rewarded and that I was cheated. I even suspect that I've been scammed. As she said that, Huang Ling glanced at Old Master Shen coldly. It must be a scammer. He doesn't look like a poor person, yet he wants to pick up rubbish. He even knows about Oaxian restaurant and ordered such expensive dishes. Tell him that I'm his grandfather. Old Master Shen said. Huang Ling laughed coldly. Momo, did you hear that? He said that he's your grandfather. Maupassant laughed softly. I heard from Mommy that my grandfather wants to meet you in M City. When Huang Ling heard that, she was stunned. She turned around and looked at Old Master Shen in shock. With one look, she felt that this old man's eyes were very similar to Maupassant's. They were both brown, deep, narrow, and sharp. Huang Ling's heart thumped. He couldn't really be Maupassant's grandfather, could he? Instantly, Huang Ling's mind went back to what he said. He said that he had a son and a daughter. The son was in France. If that was the case, he should be French. Then, is your grandfather in M City? Huang Ling's voice was slightly trembling. I'm not sure. I have to ask Mommy. Brother Mo, hang up. Let's chat on WeChat. Huang Ling quickly hung up the phone. Then, she took 2 photos of the old man and sent them to Mo Boson on WeChat. Then the voice message said, well, I was tricked by this old man. Is he your grandfather? The old man snorted. Looking at Huang Ling's nervous expression, he gloated, my only grandson is very filial to me. If I say 1, he won't dare to say 2. You're so fierce. If I don't let him marry you, he won't dare to like you anymore. You just... Before he could finish, Huang Ling's WeChat message came in. It was a voice message from Maupassant. Huang Ling quickly opened it. Because it was on speaker, Old Master Shen could hear it as well. I don't know you. When she heard that, Huang Ling heaved a sigh of relief. Then, she looked at Old Master Shen triumphantly. Did you hear that? My Momo said that she doesn't know you. You say that you're his grandfather. Looks like you've gone crazy from wanting to be his grandfather. Grandpa, don't tell me you have Alzheimer's disease. Old Master Shen didn't show any emotion on the surface, but he was about to break down because he heard the words I don't know you. Ding ding, another WeChat message came in. Maupassant, Brother Ling, don't be so kind in the future. It's okay to cheat money, but if you cheat sex, what am I supposed to do? Chapter 1121. Huang Ling regretted. I should have listened to my colleague. Nowadays, most of the old people are trying to scam others. Maupassant replied. Not only the old people. Some young people are also doing this. I heard that some old people are more lecherous. You have to be careful. Don't drink with him. He might molest you. Huang Ling looked at Grandpa Xing. He is almost 90 years old. I don't think he is lecherous. He should be suffering from Alzheimer's. If you meet an old person with Alzheimer's, you must coax him for him to be obedient. I coaxed him, but he doesn't listen. He even wants me to drag a bunch of trash into the restaurant. If not, call the police and let them handle it. That's the only way. After chatting for a while, the dishes were served. Huang Ling did not have the time to care about Maupassant. She started eating. Grandpa Xing snorted. Didn't you say you are not hungry? Huang Ling retorted in annoyance, can you finish it? Earlier on, she still used to address him with respect. But now, she did not. She did not respect him. This old man was taking advantage of his seniority. The old man frowned, and the wrinkles on his face moved. I can't finish it. I don't have a big appetite. If you don't have a big appetite, why did you order so much? Huang Ling was going crazy. He was cooking. Who asked the waitress to look at me weirdly? I ordered more to prove to her that I am rich. You are slapping your face until it is swollen. You are slapping my face until it is swollen. The caterpillar soup was served. Grandpa Xing only scooped half a bowl and gave the rest to Huang Ling. Finish it. It will nourish your body. My body is hurting. No matter how much I drink, it will not nourish my body. Even though Huang Ling said that, she still finished it. If I had not cheated you once, you would not have eaten such good food, right? You don't look rich and should not be able to afford it. Grandpa Xing asked. You are the one who can't afford it. Damn it. Didn't I pay for this meal? Huang Ling wanted to hit someone. The old man smiled. You paid because I cheated you. Otherwise, would you have paid? What are the names of your son, daughter, and granddaughter? Where do they work? Tell me all of them. I'm going to get the money back, Huang Ling said. Call me grandson Momo. Go ask him for money. When Huang Ling heard this, she smiled strangely. Come on, she doesn't know you. Don't even think about being her grandfather. He doesn't know me, but I know him. Then tell me, what is his full name? I don't know. How old is he this year? I don't know. Ha again, you liar. Beep beep, Huang Ling's WeChat message arrived. She pointed at the old man. You're such a scammer. The old man raised his eyebrows. One moment he's a liar, the next he's a swindler, the next he's a fool, the next he's a stinky old man. These adjectives are really interesting. Momo is really transferring the money to me. Huang Ling opened it. To think that it would be $50,000. Huang Ling sent a voice message over. Momo, why are you transferring $50,000 to me? To make up for the money you were cheated out of so that you can make a beauty smile. Don't be angry, Maupassant replied. When the old man heard this, he pursed his lips. Beauty. He sized up Huang Ling. She was an extremely ordinary Asian woman with nothing outstanding about her looks. She was even very gruel. Even carrying a few broken bottles would make her pant heavily, let alone jogging. So weak, how many babies can she give birth to? However, the old man did like a lass with such a personality. His granddaughter was gentle and polite. She spoke rigidly and did not know how to joke. She was not interesting at all. Looking at Huang Ling was still the best. Chapter 11:22. Even if she called him a stinky old man, he would still be happy. But, when she said that he had Alzheimer's disease, he was unhappy. He was healthy and strong, and his mind was very clear. How could he have Alzheimer's disease? Annoying person, even if you transfer the money to me, my money will be taken away. What's the use? Huang Ling muttered. She was just complaining. But old Master Shin said coldly, it's useless. You don't have to accept the money. But you accepted it. That sentence almost made Huang Ling vomit blood. If complaining is useful, I really want to complain to you. Huang Ling glared at old Master Shin. Old Master Shin had a smug expression as if he had the upper hand. Complain to who? The police uncle. You're already so old, and you still call the police uncle. Do you dare say that you don't have Alzheimer's disease? You're the one with Alzheimer's disease. I'm not even 90 years old. Old master, you don't have to be 90 years old to have Alzheimer's disease. You can be fooled by an old man with Alzheimer's disease. What kind of dementia do you have? Stupid. Stupid. I don't want to talk to you. Eat. Huang Ling was so angry that her face was red. Old Master Shen was very happy and laughed. Perhaps because he thought that after spending so much money, Huang Ling, who was not hungry, ate until her stomach was about to burst. Old Master Shen's eyes were sharp. He knew at a glance that she was about to vomit. Is money more important or is your life more important? Aren't you afraid that your stomach will burst if you eat like this? Do I have to go back like this? I heard that you can't take away leftovers here. Huang Ling wanted to cry but had no tears. She looked at Old Master Shen and said faintly, "It's shameful to waste food." "Old man, why did you order so much if you can't finish so much? You're wasting money and food just for your so-called face. You're really shameful." Old Master Shen frowned when he heard that. Shameful? Was he that bad in this girl's heart? If you continue eating, your stomach will explode. When the old man saw Huang Ling's phone on the table, he stood up and swiftly grabbed the phone before he threatened, "If you don't stop, I'll buy 2 bottles of wine with your card." "You," Huang Ling glared at him. "Give me back my phone." "No. Put down your chopsticks. You're not allowed to eat anymore." "I'm not allowed to eat it." "You overbearing old man. Domineering old man." Another adorable nickname was added to the mix. The old man turned around. It looked like he was going to buy some wine. Huang Ling quickly got up and chased after him. She compromised. Okay, I won't eat anymore. I won't eat anymore. Can you give me back my phone?" Seeing her come out empty-handed, the old man said unhappily, "Where's my trash? Bring it over and follow me to the waste station." The old man's shout attracted the attention of everyone in the restaurant who heard his words. A dirty old man carrying a bag of trash and eating a meal worth tens of thousands of dollars. What a weirdo. How many bottles and cans did he have to pick up to earn back this tens of thousands of dollars? Feeling everyone's eyes on her, Huang Ling wanted to cry and dig a hole to hide in. In any case, she felt very embarrassed. Very embarrassed. In order to leave this place as soon as possible, Huang Ling could only go back and drag the gunny sack out. The old man had already walked out of the restaurant and was waiting for her at the entrance. Huang Ling walked behind the old man and said angrily, "Grandpa, I have a grudge against you." The old man laughed. "Silly child, how can there be a grudge between a maternal grandson and a maternal grandfather? To be able to become a family, it's not a grudge but fate." Chapter 11:23. Who wants to be your family? Huang Ling said coldly with disdain. Grandpa Goot stretched out his hand and asked Huang Ling for money. "Give me 80 yuan for the taxi." Huang Ling saw that the phone was still in his hand. She compromised and took out a 100 yuan bill from her pocket. She stuffed the bill into Grandpa Goot's hand. "Give me 100 yuan. You're welcome. Please return my phone to me." Grandpa Goot took the money and returned the phone to her. After taking the phone, Huang Ling returned the gunny sack to him. "Take care of your assets. Go back to where you came from. I won't see you off. Take care." After saying that, Huang Ling turned around and strode away. What a cute girl. Grandpa Gu looked at Huang Ling's back view with a kind smile. Huang Ling walked too fast. Her bloated stomach moved up and down with her footsteps as if it was being tossed. Soon, it started to hurt. It was a sharp pain. She had no choice but to stop and hold her stomach with both hands. Her face was contorted in pain. She said hatefully, "Stupid old man, he was right. My stomach is about to explode." Grandpa Gu could tell that she was having a stomachache just by looking at her back. Grandpa Gu shook his head. "You have no sense of propriety. Your body is too weak. You need to train. Huang Ling stood for a while. After the pain subsided, she slowly walked towards the Gu clan building. It wasn't until her shadow was far, far away that the old man took out his phone and dialed a number. He said in French through gritted teeth, "Don't even think about it. Dear Grandpa, you've caused her so much trouble. It's not too much for me to not know you for 3 minutes. Now that it's been more than 3 minutes, I know you. I saw it. She's a very rude girl. The scar on her face, your cousin developed a scar cream that can make her scar fade. She doesn't need to do cosmetic surgery. That's good. People who care about appearances are superficial. Humph. That girl is just like what your mommy said. She's interesting and easy to talk to. To be able to pass grandfather's eyes, it proves that I have good taste. Humph. Compared to Anna, she's a far cry. Grandpa, I'm going for a swim. Bye. Smelly brat. When he said brat, he couldn't help but think of the smelly old man. Thinking of the smelly old man, the old man couldn't help but laugh. On the side of the road, a sanitation worker passed by with a cleaning cart. The old man waved at him and said in broken Korean, "Come here, I'll give you the bottle." The sanitation worker stopped and came over to him. The old man lifted the sack with one arm. He didn't have to drag it like Huang Ling. He handed it to the sanitation worker. It's full of Coke cans and mineral water bottles. The sanitation worker sized up the old man. You don't want it? The old man smiled. No, it's too heavy. The sanitation worker took it and smiled. Then I'll take it. Thanks. Huang Ling was so full that she didn't want to move for the whole afternoon. She even dozed off. She hugged her stomach and lay on the table, muttering, "I don't have to eat for 3 days. It's so uncomfortable. I want to vomit but I can't. I didn't digest the hawthorn." Song Wuyo, who was sitting in front of her, handed her a box of digestive pills. Eat this. No, it's sweet. I feel like vomiting when I smell it. Huang Ling lay there lazily. I really want to sleep. Chapter 11:24. Go to sleep. You have an old boss. It's no problem for you to go to work, sleep, and eat, Song Wuyo said as she looked at the design draft in her hand. Hearing the sound of pages turning, Huang Ling drowsily said, "Wuyo girl, I feel so uncomfortable. I want to vomit." Song Wuyo looked up and looked at her with joy. You're not pregnant, are you? Pregnant my head. Who's pregnant? Song Wuyo couldn't help but laugh. You don't know who's pregnant. You make it sound like you're messing around. I'm not messing around. I haven't broken through my first time yet. How can I be pregnant? Huang Ling couldn't help but roll her eyes. She was obviously sleepy, but she couldn't sleep. Her mind was muddled. Song Wuyo laughed. It's time for you and your brother Mo to eat meat. It's not good to be vegetarian every day. In Aho's words, you can't keep up with the nutrition. Huang Ling rolled her eyes and complained, You're the same as Haozi now. You're so perverted. Your thoughts are exactly the same as his. You must have eaten too much of his saliva. I'm telling the truth. Even Qing Wanduo is pregnant. You haven't broken through your first time yet. Don't you feel embarrassed? My brother Mo is busy. He said that he'll apply to come to K country with your husband. If he comes, we can be together. Song Wuyo smiled ambiguously. When the time comes, you have to hurry up and make love every day. You said that you'll give birth to a son for my Xiaobao to be her husband. You haven't broken through your first time yet. Do you want Xiao Bao to marry a man 5 years younger? Huang Ling moved her head. Isn't it good to marry a man 5 years younger? If a man younger than me pursues me, I'm not afraid to marry him. It's good, but I'm afraid your young master won't like an older girlfriend. Don't worry. If my first child is a girl, Xiao Bao will have to wait 2 more years for her husband to appear. If he still doesn't appear, I'll divorce him on behalf of Xiao Bao. Ugh. Huang Ling raised her head. Her whole body was listless. Because of the tightness in her chest, she made a vomiting gesture. I hate that old man to death. Boo-hoo. He made me feel so uncomfortable the whole afternoon. You were the one who insisted on eating so much. He didn't beg you to eat. I spent 30,000 yuan on this meal. If I don't eat more, I'll be letting my money down. Didn't Brother Mo give you 50,000 yuan? Calm down. It's not about money now. It's about how unlucky I am to have met such an old man. Damn it, he even said that it was my grandfather. If it was really my grandfather who cheated me like this, I would kick him twice. Huang Ling felt so uncomfortable that she spoke without respect. Song Wuyo smiled disapprovingly. If it was your grandfather, you wouldn't dare to fight back no matter how he tricked you. Not necessarily. It depends on how he usually treats me. I've already said that he cheated you. Do you still need to look at his usual behavior? Song Wuyo raised her head and looked at Huang Ling with interest. The old man who cheated you today, how does he usually behave? When Huang Ling heard that, she felt awkward and helpless. Wuyo, I'm breaking off ties with you. Let's break off ties. It's okay if you can bear to. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going to climb the stairs, exercise, and digest. You should have done this long ago. Back in the neighborhood, Huang Ling parked the car. Holding her bag, she walked listlessly to the building where she lived. Huang Ling. A surprised voice called out to her. Huang Ling raised her head and looked in the direction of the voice. Brenda. Seeing an acquaintance, the listless Huang Ling perked up. Chapter 11:25. Come here. Brenda waved at her. Huang Ling walked over in small steps, thinking, she doesn't want me to eat with her, does she? Brenda stepped on a cobblestone road. Each cobblestone was different in size. They were not paved on cement, but stood upright and inserted into the cement. This road was probably built to massage the soles of people's feet. When one stepped on it barefoot, it could massage the soles of their feet. At this moment, Brenda was stepping on the stones barefoot. Because she had stopped for a long time, the pain from the soles of her feet was unbearable. She could only endure the pain and run back. Pain, pain, pain. It hurt even more when she ran. Huang Ling walked over and saw her barefoot on the cobblestones. She asked with a smile, Brenda, are you doing a foot massage? How could Brenda be doing a foot massage? She wanted to test how painful it was to step on glass shards with her bare feet. But she didn't have the courage to step on glass shards. She could only step on the cobblestones. Stepping on the cobblestones was already so painful. If she walked for a long time, she wouldn't be able to persevere. It was really unimaginable to step on glass shards barefoot and fall, causing her body to be covered in wounds. Brenda suddenly admired Huang Ling's courage and was gratified by her love for her son. Brenda held Huang Ling's hand and smiled. My son said that walking on cobblestone roads like this is beneficial for health. Huang Ling nodded. That's true. Are you still going? I'll walk with you. Brenda was very happy. Okay. Huang Ling took off her shoes and Brenda looked down. Her feet were very white and small. Her ankles were round and cute. However, there were scars on the backs of her feet. She must have been seriously injured when she saved her son. Sigh, just thinking about that scene made Brenda's heart ache. Brenda held Huang Ling's hand and walked barefoot with her on the cobblestones. Brenda smiled and said, "It's painful and sore. I really want to laugh." Huang Ling smiled and said, "Do you feel happy?" "Every time I walk this path, I feel very happy." "Huang Ling, this is my first time walking on such a stone path. If you feel happy, you can walk every day. Will you walk with me every day?" "As long as I'm free, as long as you live in this neighborhood, I'll go with you. If you don't live in this neighborhood, it'll be difficult for me to accompany you." "No problem. There are still houses in this neighborhood. Ask my son to buy another one. My husband and I will move here. You can walk with me every day." Huang Ling smiled and stopped talking. "Does it hurt?" Brenda looked down at Huang Ling's feet and asked. Huang Ling shook her head. "It doesn't hurt." Brenda smiled kindly. She had already stepped on glass shards, so why would she be afraid of pebbles? "Huang Ling, do you come home on time for dinner every day?" Brenda asked. "I don't work overtime. It's all the same. My mother likes square dancing. Sometimes I dance with her. After dancing, we go for a walk." Huang Ling said. "This kind of life is quite blissful." Huang Ling sighed. "Yes, it's quite blissful. I never thought that my life would be so blissful in the future." She didn't dare to think about it. "Tonight, you and your mother come to my house for dinner. My father is here. He likes to cook and is cooking now. But I'm still so full." Huang Ling curled her lips. She was so full that she couldn't eat for 3 days. Brenda's eyes flashed with a smile. "Did you eat too much for lunch?" Huang Ling nodded, looking very obedient. "Yes, I ate a lot." Brenda smiled. "Could it be that my breakfast made you full until now?" Chapter 11:26. "No, I was unlucky today. I bumped into an old man who made my little universe burn." When Brenda heard this, she seemed interested and looked at Huang Ling with a concerned expression. "What did the old man do to you? Did he bully you?" "Yes." Huang Ling told Brenda about what happened today. After hearing this, Brenda also felt sorry for Huang Ling. What a naughty old man. He bullied a girl like you. You should have helped him up and treated his wounds. He even cheated you out of such an expensive meal. It must have been hard on you. Brenda touched Huang Ling's head. "Don't be angry at an old man like him. It's not worth it." Huang Ling smiled brightly. "I'm not angry now." After walking back and forth twice, Lu Fengfeng came downstairs and found them. Then, they went to Brenda's house together. Brenda didn't bring her keys. She asked her father to open the door. While waiting for the door to open, Brenda said to Huang Ling and Lu Fengfeng, "My father is a soldier. After he retired, he was influenced by his granddaughter and likes to take care of his health. He got to know a lot of doctors. Oh, his granddaughter is an excellent beauty doctor and nutritionist. He likes people to call him Ross. He says that name is very cool. Other than my son who calls him Grandpa, everyone in our family calls him Ross. You guys call him Ross in a while to make him happy." Huang Ling and Lu Fengfeng nodded. "Ross," the door opened. An old man in beige casual clothes with an apron stood there and greeted Lu Fengfeng and Huang Ling warmly. "Welcome to my house. Stinky old man." Huang Ling was shocked when she saw the old man's true face. Her eyes widened like copper bells. Ross seemed to have seen Huang Ling's true face as well. His eyes widened. "Stinky girl. Lu Fengfeng was dumbfounded. You know each other? Brenda also pretended to be shocked. What happened? When they entered the house, Huang Ling recounted what had happened that day. From the beginning to the end, Brenda was smiling. In fact, Roth had already told her about this when he came back. The old man liked Huang Ling very much. Brenda was very happy. She did not expect her father to be so mischievous as to set Huang Ling up in circles. Huang Ling felt that something was amiss after she finished talking about what had happened today. She looked at Laos. Old man Laos, you're not doing this on purpose, are you? Otherwise, how could there be such a coincidence? No. I didn't do it on purpose. He did it on purpose. Brenda smiled awkwardly and said, Huang Ling, whenever my father goes to an unfamiliar place, he likes to play special games. Today, he pretended to be a garbage collector and went out to play. Then, he met you. It was completely by chance and not on purpose. This means that we are really fated. You saved me and my father both before and after. Since you're Brenda's father, I won't pursue the matter with you. Huang Ling looked at Brenda and said to Ross. Come here and help me. Ross got up and walked to the kitchen. Huang Ling was reluctant. Lu Fengfeng pushed her. Grandpa Ross has spoken. Go and help. Call him Ross. Don't call him Grandpa. Brenda reminded Lu Fengfeng. Lu Fengfeng was speechless. He was such an old man. She would feel bad if she did not call him Grandpa. He was a grandpa to begin with. Huang Ling pursed her lips and reluctantly entered the kitchen. Old man, what do you need me to do? Chapter 11:27. Call me Los. TSK. Why didn't you let me call you Los when you tricked me today? I already tricked you. Why would I tell you my real name? Am I stupid? Huang Ling walked in and stood beside Los. He washed the mushrooms while she washed the vegetables. Huang Ling smiled. Is Los your real name? Roth said, absolutely. You tricked me again. Brenda said that you changed your name. Los tilted his head and glanced at Huang Ling coldly. Isn't it my real name just because I changed it? Stupid pig. With that, Laos tossed her a piece of pig's ear. Clean the fur. Huang Ling looked at the pig ear in front of her. Pig ears don't taste good. Laos snorted. Do you like pig head meat? Huang Ling shook her head. No. Laos looked at Huang Ling meaningfully. Do you know why I made pig ears for you? Huang Ling shook her head. I don't know. Laos tapped her forehead. Because you're stupid. Huang Ling wasn't convinced. That's because you're cunning. Huang Ling had washed all the vegetables that needed to be washed. But old Master Laos didn't let her do it in the living room. He insisted that she stay in the kitchen and watch him cook. With an advanced range hood, the smoke wasn't very thick here. But seeing the vegetables in the pot, Huang Ling felt even more full. Especially when old Master Roth was cooking the red braised pork, Huang Ling felt her undigested stomach churn. She quickly turned around and was about to leave. Stop! Old Master Los suddenly called out to her. Huang Ling stopped, her attitude not very good. Old man, what are you doing? Watch me cook and learn. When you get married in the future, you can cook for your husband. I know how to cook, old man. I feel like vomiting just by smelling the smoke. You want me to watch you cook here? It's worse than killing me. You want to vomit just by smelling the oil and smoke. Old Master Roth was slightly taken aback. Then, he glanced at Huang Ling's lower abdomen. Her lower abdomen was still flat. she wanted to vomit. That was because she was in her pregnancy vomiting period. It had not been 4 months yet, so her lower abdomen was not easily visible. Luosi blinked cutely. His grandson was going to be a father soon. And he, on the other hand, was about to be promoted to great-grandfather. Roth was overjoyed. This child was too awesome. Get out, get out. The old man came over to push Huang Ling out of the kitchen and said with a smile, go to the sofa and rest. I'll call you when it's time to eat. Also, the fruits on the coffee table are all imported. Eat more. They're nutritious. Huang Ling stared blankly at Roth, whose attitude had changed. What was going on? Just a moment ago, he was still fierce to her. Why did his attitude change in the blink of an eye? Huang Ling shook her head as she came out. Her smile was very forced. What a cute old man. When Brenda saw Huang Ling come out, she smiled. I can tell that my dad likes you a lot, Huang Ling. He cheated me of 30,000 yuan. How can he not like me? He just said that I'm a stupid pig and wanted to cook pork for me. Huang Ling shook her head helplessly. When Brenda heard that, her eyes lit up. Really? He really said that? Huang Ling looked at Brenda strangely. What's wrong? That stinky old man Roth said that she was a stupid pig and wanted to cook pork for her. Was that strange? Why did Brenda's reaction feel a little abnormal? Brenda smiled. Those who can be called a stupid pig by my father are all girls that he likes. She did not want him to like her. My father is a soldier. He's very serious. There has never been a girl like you who speaks rudely to him. Chapter 11:28. I wasn't rude to him. He tricked me first. Huang Ling face-bombed. Anyway, he likes you. In the future. Brenda looked at Huang Ling strangely. Your life will be better. Huang Ling couldn't understand what Brenda meant. She leaned against the back of the sofa lazily. She waved her hand and said lazily, forget it. The days when he appears will be very difficult. Soon, it was time for dinner. Old Roth made black chicken soup. This soup could be drunk by men, women, old and young. Even pregnant women could drink it. However, Huang Ling was still very full. She only drank half a bowl of soup and stopped. Seeing that she didn't eat anything else, Roth asked, Girl, do you think my food isn't good, so you don't want to eat it? Huang Ling put down her chopsticks and smiled brightly at old Roth. Yes, it's quite bad. Girl, what are you talking about? Even I think Roth's food is delicious. Why does it taste so bad in your mouth? Even if it tastes bad, you can't say it in front of the person who cooked it. It's a blow. Lu Fengfeng scolded Huang Ling, I don't have any appetite. Drinking half a bowl of soup is already very difficult for me. So, all the delicious food now is disgusting to me. Huang Ling put down her chopsticks and smiled at everyone. Everyone, eat slowly. I'm full. Get out, get out. Old Roth didn't force her. He insisted that she eat as much as she wanted. Wasn't it normal for pregnant women to throw up, vomit, and lose their appetite? Huang Ling has been spoiled by me. Sometimes she doesn't know her limits. Don't take offense. Lu Fengfeng smiled at Brenda and Roth, embarrassed. Brenda smiled elegantly and said, I like girls like her. She can say anything. It's very easy. Roth said, even Aina, isn't this fun? This girl can make people happy. Brenda looked at Roth in confusion. Are you happy that she's scolding you? Louse, tell Aina to call me a stinky old man, say that I have Alzheimer's disease, say that I'm a liar, and look at me with disdain. Does she dare? Brenda smiled. Even I wouldn't dare, let alone Anna. Roth said, even your mother doesn't dare. But Huang Ling, that girl, dares to. You know my name, yet you still call me Old Man Ross, sigh. Old Man Ross sighed and then laughed. Old Man Ross, not bad. When Lu Fengfeng heard this, her heart trembled. Huang Ling, this girl, how could she be so disrespectful to the elderly? He actually dared to say that she had dementia. Oh, dear. Brenda and Ross had moved to this neighborhood for a month. Huang Ling originally didn't know how to play chess, but she was pulled down by Old Man Roth and then forced to play. After a few days, she learned how to play chess, and then, when she had time, she would play with him. While playing chess, this old man was very cunning. He would eat random pieces and even say that he won. Every time, Huang Ling couldn't help but go crazy and shout at him, "Old man, it doesn't count. This move of yours is clearly wrong. Why can you still eat my pieces?" Every time this happened, Old Man Ross would look at the chessboard with a serious expression. Really? This move of mine isn't wrong. It's quite good. Ah! This is the first time I've met such an overbearing, unreasonable old man like you. You're talking about crabs, right? Brenda, on the other hand, would square dance with Lu Fengfeng every day after dinner. Chapter 1129. Brenda didn't expect that square dancing could make people feel happy and relaxed. It was quite fun to dance with a group of people who were about the same age as him. Some very old grandpas were very nimble when they danced. Brenda also hoped that she would still be so nimble when she reached that age. At that time, not only could she dance, but she could also bring her grandson around to play. If she wanted to be healthy, she had to be in a good mood and exercise every day. Brenda actually liked this kind of public life. Square dancing with a group of ants was even more interesting than going to the gym. Of course, Brenda usually didn't go to the gym. She stayed here for more than a month. No matter how her son, Maupassant, and her husband urged her to return to All Country, she didn't return. Even Old Man Rossi couldn't bear to go back. When he returned home, everyone was a workaholic and didn't have time to play chess with him. Chess wasn't a fun game for his family. The people around him didn't know how to play. They liked to drink, race, play games, go on waves, but they refused to sit down quietly and play chess with him. Even his filial granddaughter didn't know how to play chess. When he asked her to learn, she said she didn't have time. Huang Ling was still the best. If she didn't know how to play, he taught her. If he didn't want to play, he forced her. The way she wanted to resist, but didn't resist, was very cute. However, he was going back to France. His wife, who couldn't move and speak well at home, wanted to see him. Of course, he missed his wife too. Therefore, he had no choice but to go back. On this day, after Huang Ling finished playing chess with him, Rossi asked her to stay. Then, he entered the room and took out an exquisite small box. Huang Ling looked at him strangely as he came out of the room. Then, she looked at the box in his hand and thought, could it be a gift for her? Old Man Rossi walked up to Huang Ling and handed the box to her. Huang Ling looked at Old Man Rossi in confusion. What's this? Old Man Rossi said, you'll know when you open it. Huang Ling took the box with a puzzled and curious heart and opened it. When she saw it, her eyes widened in shock. She looked up at Old Man Roth in surprise. Old Man Roth, what is this? Old Man Roth snorted. You don't recognize the bracelet? Huang Ling swallowed. I know handcuffs, but this bracelet looks very expensive. It's not very expensive. It's made of jade. So beautiful. Huang Ling couldn't help but praise. It's emerald green, thick, and transparent. Looking at it, it seems to have spiritual energy. Yes, wear it. It can protect you from evil spirits, Old Man Roth said. Huang Ling carefully closed the lid and handed it back to Laos with a smile. You have to take good care of such a precious item. If you accidentally drop it on the ground, it will break. Why are you giving it to me? You're the one who gave it to me. Roth took 2 steps back, distancing himself from the bracelet. I guessed it, but I can't accept such a valuable thing. Huang Ling smiled. After getting along with him for a month, Huang Ling felt that this old man wasn't as bad as she had imagined. He was very easy to get along with. Like Maupassant, he would tell her interesting stories when he was young and in the army. He would talk about how he pursued his wife and how romantic he used to be. He was an interesting old man. He also said that he didn't like hearing her call him Rossi. He wanted her to call him Old Man Rossi and felt very concerned. Chapter 1130. I'm giving it to you because it's expensive. Do you want me to give you a fake jade? Or a fake jade? Why did you give me such an expensive jade bracelet all of a sudden? I've already said that my grandson will be your husband in the future. My children are all extremely rich. They may not be interested in this jade bracelet. My wealth will be yours in the future. Now, I'll give you the bracelet first. When I return to France, I'll transfer the money to you. Huang Ling was flattered and quickly refused. Okay, Old Man Ross, you'd better take it back quickly. Your words shocked me. I already have a boyfriend and I've already decided to marry him in private. How can I marry your grandson? Don't try to match me up. If my boyfriend finds out that I've accepted something expensive from you, he'll scold me. If he dares to scold you, I'll scold him for you. Old Man Ross, some things can't be said casually. My boyfriend isn't in M City. How can you scold him? Although you like me and I like to play chess with you, it doesn't mean that I like your grandson. Moreover, I don't even know what your grandson looks like. Huang Ling looked at Old Man Ross innocently. Old Man Ross, you may not know, but I'm obsessed with appearances. I like to see handsome people. My boyfriend is very handsome. He's even more handsome than the famous Gu Yanhao of K Country. How handsome is your grandson? Old Man Ross heard this and said proudly, he's even more handsome than the famous Gu Yanhao of K Country. Pfft. You're always imitating me. Huang Ling got up and stuffed the bracelet back into Old Man Ross's hand. Take it back. I can't accept it. You should keep it and give it to your granddaughter-in-law in the future. You're my granddaughter-in-law. I won't accept other women. Then let me see if your grandson is more handsome than my boyfriend. If he's uglier than my boyfriend, wouldn't I lose a lot? Old Man Ross, my boyfriend is also very rich. As long as I ask, he'll satisfy me. Huang Ling said with a tender smile on her face. Can you show me your boyfriend's photo? Old Man Lo said. Yes, of course. Huang Ling took out her phone, pulled out Maupassant's photo from her photo album, and showed it to Old Roth. Most of the photos that Maupassant sent to her were photos of him after bathing, with a towel wrapped around his body and his upper body naked. 1 or 2 of them were sent by the troops. They were wearing military uniforms and military caps. They were so handsome. After Old Man Roth saw it, he shook his head and said, ugly. He's not handsome. Huang Ling almost vomited blood when she heard that. She leaned over to see which photo of Maupassant the old man was looking at. What he was looking at was the full-body photo of Old Man Roth standing in the bathroom mirror. Wrapped in a towel, his upper body was bare. His hair was wet, and so was his chest hair. His slender and muscular legs were still dripping with water. He was incomparably sexy. His deep facial features, sharp and narrow phoenix eyes, and wet bangs stuck to his forehead. He was sexy and wild. Moreover, he was very tall. He was 193 meters tall, but he didn't look burly. He was the kind of man who had a straight waist and long legs. He was the kind of man who was peerless. He was still a clothes hanger. Whether it was a vest, a long windbreaker, or a military uniform, as long as he put it on, he would be extremely handsome. Even a towel wrapped around his waist could make a woman have a nosebleed. In Old Man Roth's eyes, such a good-looking man had become ugly and unhandsome. Huang Ling seriously doubted Old Man Roth's aesthetic standards. Chapter 1131. His figure was the golden ratio of an inverted triangle, 8-pack abs, and fishman lines. Huang Ling was sure that Old Man Ross's grandson definitely didn't have a figure like her MOMO. She pouted and said, "Not ugly, very handsome." "How is it not ugly?" "Look." Old Man Ross pointed at Maupassant's earlobe. Huang Ling looked over and didn't find anything. "The ears are very good-looking." "The ears are good-looking, but the earlobe is thick. If it gets any thicker, it'll be like China's Buddha." "How can it be so exaggerated?" "This earlobe is just right." Huang Ling touched her earlobe. "Mine is the same." People say that people with such earlobes are blessed. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. In your eyes, even his farts are fragrant. Old Man Ross shook his head. "Look at this chest hair, it's like a beast. Isn't hair removal cream popular now? Is he so stupid that he doesn't know how to use it? What do you know? A man with a little chest hair is sexy. All men have bare chests. It's too uncreative." Huang Ling smiled infatuatedly. "My brother Mo's figure is great." Old Man Ross looked at Huang Ling strangely. "I heard that men with chest hair are very ferocious. With your weak body, you'll suffer." Huang Ling obviously knew what Old Man Ross was referring to. She rolled her eyes at the old man. "I'm the one suffering, not you. Why are you worried about this? Look at his feet again. They're so big. The shoes he's wearing are even bigger than mine." Huang Ling subconsciously lowered her head and glanced at Old Man Ross's legs. He was wearing a pair of black socks. Old Man Ross was also a very tall person, and his feet were also big. But they weren't ugly. Wasn't it good for men to have big feet? "My brother Mo is 1.9 meters tall, which is just the right proportion for his feet." "Old Man Ross, I say, why is your aesthetic sense so strange? Look at my brother Mo's physique. His legs are perfect, yet you say they're big. I'm really not used to this place. I only admire you." Huang Ling really wanted to call Maupassant to complain that someone was nitpicking at him and saying that he was ugly. Her hips are too perky, like a woman's. Huang Ling was speechless. This ratio is perfect. Suits and military uniforms are all handsome. Lady, that's meat. Muscles. What's the meaning of sending such a picture to your girlfriend? If you want to be naked, then you should be completely naked, not. You don't understand. You will only be attracted if it's partly visible. If it's all naked, there will be no mystery at all. It's not fun. Huang Ling reached out and tried to snatch her phone back. Old Roth didn't let him. He turned sideways and continued to find fault with Maupassant. His eyes are sharp. One look and I can tell that he's someone who doesn't understand romance. Girl, if you marry him, you will be very lonely after marriage. His eyelashes are too long and curved, and the corners of his eyes are curved upwards. Such a man is devilish, affectionate, charming, and an expert at picking up girls. Girl, be careful that he doesn't cheat on you after marriage. Also, his lips are cold and indifferent. One look and you can tell that he's a cold-blooded man. He's good to you when you're in love, but not after marriage. Also, his nose bridge is high like an eagle's beak. Won't it affect you when you kiss? And his forehead. Enough. Huang Ling snatched her phone back. Old Man Ross, I won't show you anymore. Old Man Ross raised his chin and looked at Huang Ling proudly. Right? You finally realize that your boyfriend is ugly, right? Chapter 1132. Old Roth, you're jealous that my boyfriend is more handsome than your grandson. One moment, you say that he's a man who doesn't understand romance, and the next moment, you say that he's full of emotions and knows how to flirt with girls. If he doesn't understand romance, how can he flirt with girls? You say that he's flirting with girls, but you say that he's cold. This contradiction. Sigh, I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's so tiring to talk to you. Huang Ling reached out and looked at old Roth with a smile. You've seen my Momo's photo. Show me your grandson's photo. Hearing this, old Roth pursed his lips and a guilty look flashed across his eyes. He turned and went into his room. My grandson is too handsome. He doesn't like to take photos. Huang Ling followed behind him. After he entered the room, she leaned against the door frame and looked at old Roth with a smile. Who are you kidding? He must be too ugly. You don't dare to let me see it. Old Roth put the box away. I gave you the jade, but you didn't want it. If it was for Anna, she would have taken it long ago. Huang Ling crossed her arms and looked at old Roth with interest. You and Brenda both mentioned Anna. Is Anna your granddaughter? Old Roth looked at Huang Ling mischievously. Why should I tell you? If you don't want to tell me, then don't tell me. I don't want to know. If you want to get to know these people, come to France with me tomorrow. Tomorrow? Huang Ling was surprised. You're going back. Old Roth said, yes, I miss my dear Nini. Who's your dear Nini? My granddaughter's grandmother. Oh, your wife. Is Brenda accompanying you? Old Roth packed some things. Yes, let's go together. Hearing that they were all leaving, Huang Ling was a little disappointed. Why so suddenly? I didn't hear you say you were going back before. Now that I heard, it's for tomorrow. Huang Ling walked in. Old Roth, what do you want to pack? Let me help you. Old Man Roth chuckled and said, there's no need to pack anything. I'll just put the things away and lock the door. I'll come here again in the future. Don't we need to bring clothes and shoes? Huang Ling asked. What are we going to do with these things? I have plenty of clothes and shoes in France. That's true. With everything prepared on both sides, it's convenient to move in and out. After old Roth was done, he looked at Huang Ling kindly. Why don't you come with us? Who knows, you might even have the chance to meet my grandson. Huang Ling smiled. Forget it. I have to go to work. When I, Momo, go to M City, take me to France if you have the chance. I'll go see you. Old Roth was very satisfied. All right, I want to see with my own eyes which brat has bewitched you. You're not completely bewitched. Sigh, when I go back, I can't find anyone to play chess with me again. Why don't you let your granddaughter and daughter-in-law accompany you? Old Man Roth spread out his hands. They're all very busy. If they have time, they'd rather ski and drink than sit down and play chess with me. They say chess is boring. Huang Ling nodded. A little. Old man Roth widened his eyes. You think it's boring too? Compared to skiing and drinking, it's a little boring. Then why are you still playing with me? You asked me to play. It's not like I wanted to play with you. You brat, so you're the same as them. You're not willing to play chess with me. All right. I was thinking that I would miss you when I returned to France. Now that I hear you say that, I won't miss you. Old man Roth seemed to be quite angry. Chapter 1133. Huang Ling looked at him in amusement. Old man Luo, isn't the result the same whether I'm willing to play chess with you or not? I'll play chess with you every day. Old man Luo curled his lips in anger. It's different. Old man Luo and Brenda left M City. When they returned to the neighborhood, they felt that something was missing. The mother and son sat at the dining table to eat. The dishes were simple: braised pork ribs, scrambled eggs with tomatoes, fried chicken with chili, and soup. Ever since Brenda came to this neighborhood, I feel that life has become much more interesting. We basically eat together every day and are very happy. After leaving, I feel empty in my heart. I'm not used to it. Lu Fengfeng looked at the dishes on the table and said dejectedly. Huang Ling smiled and said, You'll get used to it slowly. Mom, we have to live any kind of life. Lu Fengfeng looked up at Huang Ling. This child was getting more and more beautiful. Old man Luo gave her some facial cleanser. After she washed it for a month, the scars on her face faded and became rosy. Moreover, the facial cleanser made her face rosy and fair. Her skin was as good as a peach, making people want to pinch it. Such a beautiful daughter was going to get married soon. In the past, when you moved to the Mu estate, I was not used to it. It was so lonely at home alone. Now that I think of you marrying to country L or France in the future, my heart is very heavy. When I think of you in a foreign country, I feel panicked, Lu Fengfeng said. When Huang Ling heard this, her eyes watered and she muttered, Then I might as well not marry. When Lu Fengfeng heard this, she became anxious. How can that be? How can a woman not marry? There are plenty of women who don't marry. Those women who don't marry have fun when they are young. When they reach mom's age, their views will be different. Their friends all have families, and their relatives gradually leave. They will feel extremely lonely. It's better to get married and have children. Mom, why don't you find a boyfriend? Huang Ling's eyes lit up and she gave Lu Fengfeng an idea. You're not old now. You just need a companion. Maybe you found a boyfriend and can even have children. It was rare for Lu Fengfeng to be shy. At mom's age, how can I find someone so easily? Men at this age all have sons and grandsons. Even if he likes me, his sons and daughters might not accept me. What I'm suggesting is that if there's someone who's suitable and likes each other, we should let go of our love. Now that you found a partner, I can marry in peace. Otherwise, I'll always be worried about you. But don't worry, Maupassant said that he will bring you to live. Huang Ling smiled. Thinking of Maupassant, Lu Fengfeng felt touched. That man was really good. Regardless of appearance, ability, or character, they were all excellent beyond words. Because of his identity, there was a certain degree of danger. But Huang Ling was really happy when she was with him. She knew how well he treated Huang Ling and her. After you get married, hurry up and have a child. Lu Fengfeng said angrily, that way, Mom won't feel lonely. All right. Huang Ling smiled and said, we'll let Mom take care of our first child. We'll let Grandma take care of our second and third children. Has Maupassant mentioned marriage to you? Lu Fengfeng asked. The parents of the two families had not met yet. Now that their relationship had reached this stage, it was time to arrange for them to meet. Chapter 1134. He applied to Gu Yanhao to work in M City. He said that when he arrived in M City, he would talk about marriage. I think he's so capable that he'll be able to settle down wherever he goes. If he's in M City, what about his family? His household registration is on his grandfather's side. He doesn't belong to L country. And I heard that he's a freelance household. He can stay wherever he wants. He's very awesome. When Lu Fengfeng heard this, her eyes lit up in surprise. Then let him stay in M City. Huang Ling smiled. Mom, we can't force him. He likes it. Maybe he doesn't even like M City. He said that he would bring her and her mother to live on the magical Beast Island. Has anyone ever told you that I love you very much? The phone on the sofa rang. Huang Ling put down her chopsticks. I'll go answer the call. The phone screen was flashing. When Huang Ling saw the words, Brother Mo, she was even happier. Dear Brother Mo, have you eaten? Huang Ling's voice was crisp and carried a hint of laughter. Like the sound of wind chimes, it entered Maupassant's ears. Maupassant's pleasant voice came through. No. Huang Ling said, Old man Roth and his daughter have gone to France. They took the plane yesterday morning. Maupassant smiled. They've gone back. Aren't you used to it? Huang Ling asked, How did you know? Maupassant couldn't help but laugh. I know you. Huang Ling nodded coquettishly. What should I do? You know me so well. I love you to death. How long has it been since we last met? It's been a long time. The last time you came to M City was 2 months ago. Do you miss me? What do you think? I miss you so much that I miss you to the bone. Go to your room and look down from the balcony. When Huang Ling heard this, she almost exclaimed, You're not in M City, are you? Maupassant smiled. His voice was deep, magnetic, and gentle. I'm downstairs. When Huang Ling heard this, she was ecstatic. Holding the phone, she rushed into her room at lightning speed and rushed to the balcony like the wind. She looked down and saw the man who stood out from the crowd. At this time, the sky was dark, and the street lights in the neighborhood were on time. There were also many people strolling downstairs, but Maupassant, who was standing by the cobblestone in front of the lamppost, immediately attracted Huang Ling's attention. Upon seeing him, Huang Ling's eyes sparkled like water. She was overjoyed. Maupassant stood there and kept looking up at her room. Therefore, when she rushed to the balcony and looked down, their eyes met. The feeling of seeing her sincerity was different from seeing it on video. He liked it when she was real and when he heard her voice. When he saw her, his eyes were full of tenderness. His good-looking thin lips curled up, and his handsome face made passers-by look at him again and again. They couldn't bear to look away. Aw, aw, aw. Huang Ling screamed. She rushed out like the wind. Lu Fengfeng, who was eating in the dining room, saw that she hadn't gone back to eat for so long. As soon as she came out, she saw her rushing out of her room like a madwoman. Lu Fengfeng quickly went forward to stop her and asked nervously, Ling, are you okay? Huang Ling was extremely excited. She grabbed Lu Fengfeng's arm excitedly. Mom, Maupassant is here. He's downstairs. Didn't he say on WeChat yesterday that he was on a mission? But he's really standing downstairs now. I saw him. He's wearing dark brown casual pants, a burgundy t-shirt that shows off his muscles, and a black coat outside. It's true. Chapter 1135. Lu Fingfing's mouth twitched. He's so tall. Did you see his muscles in his clothes? Huang Ling was extremely excited. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going downstairs. Looking at Huang Ling's back view as she hurried out, Lu Fengfeng could not understand the way young people fell in love these days. She muttered, since you're already downstairs, why don't you come up and eat together? After Huang Ling came out, she happened to meet a neighbor who was waiting for the elevator. When she arrived, the elevator arrived. She rushed in excitedly. Not long after, the elevator reached the first floor. Wearing slippers, she ran out of the elevator. She was so excited that her face was full of smiles. Even the people who passed by her could feel her excitement. Huang Ling ran out at the fastest speed she had ever run in her life. When she saw the tall man, she ran even faster. Momo. She rushed up like an arrow and threw herself into the arms of the man who was waiting for her with open arms. She pounced so hard that Maupassant's waist leaned back for a while. He then hugged her tightly. Huang Ling hooked her arms around his neck and said happily, "We finally meet. Momo, I missed you so much that my hair is turning white." Maupassant hugged her tightly and said in a magnetic voice, "I missed you so much that my liver hurts." When Huang Ling heard that, she let go of him and looked at him worriedly. "Liver hurts? You're not sick, are you?" Maupassant pinched her cheeks and said in a pampering tone, "Yes, lovesickness." Huang Ling held his big palm that was pinching her cheeks with both hands. His palm was covered with a thin layer of calluses because he had been holding a gun for many years. Holding her pair of white and soft hands, she felt a sense of security and solidity from that thin layer of calluses. She held his hand tightly. His hand was big and his fingers were slender like jade. The warmth of his hand made her heart feel warm as well. With him by her side, her young daughter's heart was filled to the brim with pink. He was very tall, and she had to raise her head to look at him. Because she had run too fast, she was panting a little, and her face was still rosy. Her eyes were brighter than usual because of joy. "Momo, are you giving me a surprise?" When she was eating, there were grease stains on her lips that she had not wiped clean. It was as if she had applied reflective lipstick. Seeing this, Maupassant couldn't help but lower his head, stick out his tongue, and lick it. When his cold lips touched hers, Huang Ling's back trembled, as if there was an electric current running from the soles of her feet to her heart. She was stunned for a moment and looked at Maupassant. "You don't even wipe your mouth after stealing food." Maupassant smiled. "We just happened to be eating. Momo, do you want to join us?" "No, I want to take you somewhere." Huang Ling's eyes flashed. "Where?" Maupassant held her little hand. "Come with me. That man is so handsome." "Is he a celebrity?" "Doesn't look like it. That aristocratic aura he has on him is more like that of a billionaire. Just his appearance alone is already so handsome. If I could have such a handsome boyfriend, even if he was a vagrant, I would follow him willingly. His woman is from our neighborhood. Her looks are average. She's really lucky to be able to find such a handsome boyfriend. I think that man looks like a mixed blood." "I think so too." Maupassant and Huang Ling heard the discussions of the young women behind them. Huang Ling raised her head and looked at Maupassant with a smile. "Momo, they are praising you." Maupassant, "Yes. What should I do? If I were to go with you, you would steal my limelight." Chapter 1136. Then do you still want to come with me? Yes, yes, yes. Momo, where are you taking me? Our new home. When Huang Ling heard this, she was overjoyed again. New home. Our new home. Where is it? This building. Maupassant stopped in front of a building. Huang Ling looked up and her expression changed. Wasn't this the building where Brenda and Old Man Ross lived? Huang Ling looked at Maupassant in surprise. Could that Old Man Ross really be his grandfather? Which floor? Huang Ling asked. 18. Oh. She was shocked. Brenda and Old Man Ross lived on the 17th floor. Huang Ling heaved a sigh of relief. Maupassant saw her subtle change. Maupassant smiled and asked, "What are you afraid of?" Huang Ling said honestly, "Old Man Ross also lives in this building. He's also French. I'm afraid that he really is your grandfather." Maupassant patted her head. "What's there to be afraid of if he's my grandfather?" Huang Ling, "My grandfather looks serious, but he's like a stubborn old man on the inside. He's very cute." He held Huang Ling's hand and walked into the building. "When did you buy a house here?" Not a single bit of news leaked out. "I just got the property certificate. It's hardcover. We can stay here tonight. I got someone to clean it yesterday. The hardcover here is very expensive. I originally wanted to buy a villa, but Auntie is used to living here and knows a group of friends who are square dancers. If we move to the villa and both of us work, I'm afraid that she won't be able to stand the peace and will feel lonely. It's good here. The environment is beautiful. During the day, she can eat at her mother's house and sleep at her husband's house. She won't feel lonely or lost. We can meet every day." When Huang Ling heard this, she was very touched. She held Maupassant's hand tightly and smiled emotionally. "Momo, you're so good to me. I feel like I'm dreaming. Whether it's a dream or reality, I've already treated you so well. I want you to treat me this well in the future. That will depend on your performance in the future. It will always be the same. It will only get better and not worse." They took the elevator to the 18th floor. This was a luxurious building with 2 apartments on each floor. Each apartment was 200 square meters in size and was luxurious. The apartment that Maupassant bought was Unit 1801. The location was very good. "Open the door and go in." Seeing the interior decoration, Huang Ling was so shocked that her eyes widened. Because it was the place where the rich lived, the furniture and carpets were all of the best quality. They didn't dare to make a shoddy project. Luxurious, European style. There was still a lot of wine in the wine cabinet. Huang Ling took off her shoes and walked in, exclaiming, "Luxurious. Mine is also hardcover, but the style is different. I saw that the one you live in is simple, so I'll buy a European style. If you like the palace style, I can buy another one." Maupassant's eyes never left Huang Ling's face. Huang Ling smiled and said, "It's enough, it's enough. Brenda's apartment is also very exquisite, but it's not as luxurious as yours. When she bought it, it was also hardcover. She said that her son had changed it and changed the sofa, bed, and background. If you like Brenda's, we can change it with her." "No." Huang Ling looked around and liked the house more and more. "This is not bad. Brenda's is downstairs, but her location is 1702. It's not as good as ours." Huang Ling walked out of the balcony of the living room. Standing here, she could still see her home. Huang Ling smiled happily. "This is very good." Chapter 1137. Maupassant walked over and stood beside her. His lips curled. "As long as you like it. Huang Ling turned around and looked at him. Will you be working in M City from now on? Maupassant nodded. Yes, my base has been moved to a city. Huang Ling was slightly stunned. A city? It takes 2 hours to get there by high-speed rail. Won't it take 5 to 6 hours by car? Maupassant rubbed her head lovingly. It's better than flying to L country for 7 hours, right? Huang Ling pursed her lips. If we get married, won't we have to live separately? Maupassant hugged her in his arms and smiled. Silly girl, why are you thinking so far ahead? Huang Ling raised her head and caressed Maupassant's handsome face gently. Every time I'm separated from you, my heart feels so flustered. What's there to be flustered about? Maupassant lowered his eyes and looked at her with interest. I don't know. I'm just flustered. Huang Ling's hand moved to Maupassant's neck and caressed it gently. She smiled sweetly. I still like having you by my side. Her hand was soft. Touching his face to his neck, that soft and smooth touch made Maupassant's chest tighten. Unintentionally, the back of her hand touched Maupassant's ear. Huang Ling recalled that old man Ross said that Maupassant's earlobes were thick. She could not help but raise her head and look over. Ross, that old man, spouted nonsense even though he did not understand. Maupassant's ears were perfect, okay? The earlobes were just right. Huang Ling really wanted to take a bite. She was not that tall. If she wanted to bite, she would have to stand on her tiptoes. However, she could still touch it. Huang Ling pinched Maupassant's earlobes with 2 fingers and gently rubbed them. A numbing itch hit him instantly. Maupassant's heart palpitated and his breathing stagnated. He held his breath, and his eyes suddenly became deep as he quietly looked at Huang Ling. Huang Ling raised her face and looked at his ears like a child playing with a toy. She was in a good mood and shouted, that old man Ross said your ears are ugly. I don't know what kind of taste he has. As she spoke, her orchid-like breath, along with a seductive warmth, sprayed onto Maupassant's face. Maupassant looked at her mouth. When she spoke, her bright red lips opened and closed. It was very seductive. The arm that was hugging her waist tightened its grip. Huang Ling's entire body was snuggled up to him. Huang Ling glanced at Maupassant and asked, Momo, do you want to know how Lao stepped on you? I don't want to, Maupassant said. This, his grandfather had already told him. Moreover, his mind was now on other things. Huang Ling, Huang Ling blinked. Her eyes were bright and moist. Tonight. Maupassant paused for a moment and said in a low voice, stay here, okay? I have to call my mom to let her know, Huang Ling said. This was such a big house with so many rooms. It should be no problem for her to stay here. I'll call. Maupassant took out his phone and dialed Lu Fingfing's number. Mom, I want to marry Huang Ling, Maupassant said seriously the moment the call connected. When he was serious, he was so handsome. Even his voice had a magical power that could stir one's heart. Lu Fengfeng was stunned. She was stunned by him calling her mom. Then, she smiled and said, marry her. Huang Ling will only marry you. Hurry up and marry her. I don't want to raise an old aunt. I bought a luxurious house above Brenda. Tonight, I'm going to stay here with Huang Ling. This is our new house, Maupassant said. Lu Fengfeng was shocked. You bought a house. Chapter 1138. Huang Ling bit down on her lower lip and looked at Maupassant with a sweet expression. This man was simply too adorable. He had adapted to the job quickly and had suddenly changed to calling her mom. Hearing him call her mom made her feel happy in her heart. She thought that her mother's heart must be even happier. Maupassant chuckled softly. I'll be working in K country in the future. After we get married, we'll live in the same neighborhood. When I'm at home, Huang Ling will sleep with me. When I'm not at home, she can go back to her parents' house to accompany you. You won't feel lonely after your daughter gets married. In the future, when my parents come to M City, they can stay at your place or mine if they like. It'll be lively when we eat. When it's time to sleep, we'll go back to our own rooms. Momo, no, good son-in-law. You're so considerate. Mom is touched. What's the difference between this and moving in? Lu Fengfeng was so touched that she wanted to cry. Maupassant had wronged her by asking her to be his son-in-law. Son-in-law. This was the first time Maupassant had heard of this term. Even though it was his first time hearing it, he understood the meaning instantly. He smiled. Mom, as long as we can live together, what's wrong with marrying in? Maupassant looked at Huang Ling dotingly. As long as I'm with Huang Ling, I'll do anything. Mom's just joking with you. In this neighborhood, you have your own new house. How can you be a son-in-law? Maupassant, Mom is relieved to hand Huang Ling over to you. Help me tell her that I've packed her clothes and shoes. You can come over tomorrow to collect them so that she can live there with peace of mind. Also, make haste and give birth to a healthy, fat grandson for Mom, okay? Maupassant's doting eyes carried a charming smile as his gaze locked onto Huang Ling's face. All right, Mom. I'll make haste. Then, when are we going to meet your daddy and mommy? Lu Fengfeng asked. Maupassant smiled. Don't worry about that. I'll arrange for my parents to meet. I'll get a certificate with Huang Ling on another day. That way, if she gets pregnant, she can give birth to a child legally. My parents are urging us to get married. They like Huang Ling very much. Then I'm relieved. You've just arrived in M City. You must be tired, right? Let's not talk about it for now. You should rest well and recover your strength. Then, you can do something meaningful. Maupassant was quite satisfied with Lu Fengfeng's words. Having a cheerful mother-in-law was a fortunate thing. After hanging up, Huang Ling asked curiously, did my mom agree? How did she react when you called her mom? Maupassant smiled. I'm very happy. She told me to make the best use of my time and do something meaningful. Do something meaningful. Huang Ling didn't react for a moment. Maupassant threw his phone onto the balcony chair and hugged Huang Ling's waist as he ambiguously said, she told me to work harder and give her a grandson. Huang Ling, are you ready? When Huang Ling heard this, her cheeks suddenly turned red. Her bright eyes flashed with a trace of shyness. Her shy gaze bumped into Maupassant's deep and scorching eyes. Looking at his scorching eyes, she felt as though her heart was on fire. She lowered her head, not daring to look into his eyes. His heart was pounding like a deer's thump, a thump, a thump. Her cheeks were getting redder and redder. Maupassant pinched her chin gently and said in a magnetic voice, Ling, you won't be able to escape tonight. With that said, the man's eyes turned mischievous as he smiled charmingly. I won't let you escape. Chapter 1139. Huang Ling was extremely shy. Her face was very red as she lifted him up. Her face was full of shyness, which made Maupassant's heart thump fiercely. When they were having sex, they had never thought that they would fall to this stage. It was natural for them to get along. Now that everyone knew what was going to happen that night, both of their hearts were pounding. Have you ever thought of running away? Maupassant asked in a low voice as he caressed Huang Ling's rosy cheeks. Because of her shyness, Huang Ling's eyes seemed to be covered with a thin layer of mist. She became a little dazed. She swallowed a mouthful of saliva and realized that her throat had become dry. Her voice was hoarse as she said, "Never thought of it." Mauboussin smirked and picked her up in his arms. Huang Ling's body instinctively hooked onto his neck. A look of panic flashed past her dazed eyes. She thought that wrestling. The next second, when she realized that it was Maupassant who was carrying her, she heaved a sigh of relief. Knowing what he was going to do with her, her face turned even redder. Her heart was pounding wildly. Her arms that were hooking onto Maupassant tightened. Maupassant carried her and walked towards the bathroom. The bathroom was huge. There was a clean Celadon bathtub. It seemed that Maupassant was already prepared when he was waiting for Huang Ling downstairs. The bathtub was already filled with clean hot water. He carried Huang Ling in his arms and gently placed her into the bathtub. Huang Ling's clothes were instantly soaked. Huang Ling's heart was pounding wildly. She sat in the bathtub like a cute and obedient little girl. She raised her head and looked at Maupassant. Maupassant took off his coat and t-shirt. Because he was standing and she was sitting. Huang Ling raised her head and looked over. She felt that Maupassant's figure was very tall and straight, like a tower. Taking off his t-shirt, he unbuckled his belt. Huang Ling's gaze could not help but follow the movement of his hand. Looking at his slender hands elegantly unbuckling his belt, her breathing stagnated and she felt as if her heart was about to jump out of her body. The belt was undone, the zipper pulled down, and his trousers fell to his heels. Men's beige underwear tightly wrapped around the parts that symbolized masculinity. Huang Ling blushed and quickly lowered her head, not daring to look. Maupassant shifted his position, leaving the last piece of clothing on his body. He lifted his legs and stepped into the bathtub. The two-person bathtub was very spacious. Maupassant sat down beside Huang Ling and hugged her wet and soft body. After knowing each other for so long, this was the first time that Huang Ling was held naked in his arms. If she lowered her head, she could see his figure at such a close distance. There was no shower gel in the water. It was so clear that one could see everything. Huang Ling's gaze fell on his strong and rough buttocks. Her whole body began to heat up. Was it because of the hot water? Or was she having a reaction? Maupassant held her waist tightly with one hand and helped her unbutton her clothes with the other. Her clothes were taken off one by one. In the end, only her underwear was left. She looked thin with her clothes on, but she looked good with her clothes off. It could also be used on Huang Ling. Looking at this beautiful painting, Maupassant suddenly felt hot all over. His hands that were taking off Huang Ling's trousers were trembling slightly. It was very uncomfortable. He was a man with a lot of physical strength and was healthy in all aspects. Facing such a painting of the woman he liked was quite torturous and unbearable for him. Looking at her figure, all the stimulated senses in his body were awakened. Maupassant's palm held Huang Ling's butt and lifted her body slightly. Her trousers were easily taken off to her ankles. Chapter 1140. Maupassant lifted Huang Ling's body with his palms and helped her take off her clothes before throwing her out of the bathtub. Maupassant's eyes were burning like torches and wolves as they swept across Huang Ling's entire body, not missing a single inch of skin. His even breathing started to change. Huang Ling's face was flushed as she leaned against his chest and muttered, "Brother Mo." There was a hint of shyness in her voice, as if her heart was beating like a deer's. "Huang Ling, it's so good to be with you." Maupassant laughed in a low voice. Before he grew up, he joined the army and spent most of his time with a group of men. This was the first time he was so intimate with a woman. It turned out that having a woman by his side to take care of him and make him worry about her was such a strange thing. Maupassant liked Huang Ling. He liked that she was leaning against him like this, giving him a sense of accomplishment as a man. How could Huang Ling not feel happy? After her rebirth, she thought that she would no longer have happiness. She thought that she had changed in the hands of Gu Yanhao. She did not expect that a Maupassant would appear in her life, a man who would protect her in all aspects. Only now did she know that she had been reborn in order to fall in love with her brother Mo. Gu Yanhao is very good to Wu You. You have to be like him and be good to me, Huang Ling said. Maupassant snorted. I will do better than him. He is not gentle. Maupassant picked up a towel and helped her wipe her arm. Huang Ling, you are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Beautiful on the outside and beautiful on the inside. Isn't Li Xinxin beautiful? Huang Ling teased him on purpose. Who was the one who chased Li Xinxin all the way to K country? Maupassant pinched her arm. Who said that I chased Li Xinxin all the way to K country? I'm chasing after you. He bent down and whispered in her ear, Huang Ling, I've finally caught up with you. This seductive and charming voice made Huang Ling's heartstrings flutter. Since you've managed to woo her, you have to cherish her. Don't let her go to waste. Huang Ling patted Maupassant's chest in a brotherly manner. Otherwise, your little brother Ling will never forgive you. Maupassant looked at her dotingly. Don't worry. You'll never waste God's gift on me. Huang Ling smiled proudly. That's good. Maupassant looked at her and asked, do you think our feelings for each other are deep? Huang Ling nodded. Yes. You don't want to go deeper. Who doesn't want to? Huang Ling raised an eyebrow. Between couples, was there still a need to be afraid of deep feelings? Maupassant smiled charmingly. Can we go further? His words were pure, but his gaze and smile made Huang Ling think that it was impure. She raised an eyebrow, but her face was flushed. What do you think? In Maupassant's eyes, she was cute and beautiful. Maupassant looked at her tenderly. Huang Ling, you're really beautiful. At this moment, I'm even more beautiful. Glib. Maupassant hugged her tightly, his eyes twinkling as he smiled. No, I'm not glib. These are words from the bottom of my heart. Huang Ling, you're not allowed to leave me in the future. Even if it was a man with a glib tongue, Huang Ling would still like to hear it. Who asked this man to be her brother Mo? Huang Ling's heart was filled with sweetness. I've never said that I wanted to leave you. I'm going to rely on you for the rest of my life. This is your promise to me. You're going to rely on me for the rest of your life. Maupassant hugged her even tighter. They both loved and respected each other. Chapter 1141. Hee hee. Huang Ling couldn't help but laugh. She laughed very happily. Maupassant looked at her body. After she was injured at the ranch, there were many scars on her body. Song Wuyo gave her ointment and asked her to apply it every night. A month had passed, and the scars had become lighter. Now, they were pink on her body. Soaking in the hot water, they were even more beautiful. Maupassant's eyes instantly darkened, as deep as an ancient well. He lowered his head and gently bit her earlobe. Huang Ling's body quivered. Don't move here. Maupassant smiled, and his voice was magnetic and hoarse. So, this place can make you so cute. I don't feel good. Huang Ling said softly. What was cute? Bear with it. Let's start bathing. Maupassant felt like he was in a bonfire. He hugged her tightly, and she was pressed against his chest. She could clearly feel that his heart, which was about to jump out of his body, was pounding. Turn your back to me, Maupassant said in a low and hoarse voice. Huang Ling's mind was inexplicably in a daze. Maupassant asked her to turn her back to him, and she really did sit in the bathtub with her back to him. Maupassant stared at her back like a torch. Looking at her body from the back, it had a different flavor and beauty. This is the first time I've seen a woman's body. Maupassant's voice was low and hoarse. He had a kind of captivating magic, and Huang Ling's soul was about to be taken away. I've endured for 29 years, just to wait for you to appear. She believed what he said. After admiring her back, Maupassant suddenly turned Huang Ling's body and made her face him. Huang Ling could only bend her knees. Maupassant's gaze followed her lower body. With this look, all the hair on his body stood up. Uncomfortable. Huang Ling's face was also very red. Her entire heart was throbbing. Maupassant curled his lips, picked up her soft and boneless hand, and placed it on his lower body. Huang Ling's eyes widened, and she looked up at Maupassant in shock. Maupassant's smile was a little charming and evil. Huang Ling, from now on, he belongs to you. In this life, he will only listen to you. The feeling of being pampered was really blissful and sweet. Maupassant breathed deeply and his voice was hoarse. Do you like him? Huang Ling's face burning, and she nodded her head. Yes, give him a bath. Wash him clean. Maupassant reached out, picked up the shower gel from the side, and squeezed it into the water. After he helped her bathe for a while, the clear water started to bubble. The bubbles blocked their vision, and the body under the water could not be seen clearly. Maupassant helped Huang Ling wash her body, and Huang Ling helped Maupassant wash his body. Half an hour later, Maupassant carried Huang Ling out of the bathroom. He put her on the bed, and his slender figure covered her. The soft bed sank a little because of his weight. At this point, they knew what to do next. Huang Ling nervously tugged at the bed sheets under her body. Her rosy face had a hint of shyness as she looked at Maupassant faintly. Maupassant stroked the wet bangs on her forehead, held her face with both hands, and stared at her affectionately. Then, he lowered his head and kissed her lips. He had endured for so long, and it was already very uncomfortable. Therefore, although he was a little unfamiliar and clumsy, he was very eager to plunder. He wanted to plunder all of Huang Ling's breath. Huang Ling's mind was blank, and her body went soft. Such a wonderful feeling made Huang Ling feel very unfamiliar. Chapter 1142. This unfamiliar feeling made Huang Ling feel a little resistant. She was afraid of its arrival. She could clearly hear Maupassant's strong heartbeat. Thump, thump. Thump, thump. Maupassant planted deep kisses on her body. He had said that this was the mark he had left on her. She would always be his. The man's calloused palm felt like a piece of soldering iron when it touched her skin. Her face was flushed red and her eyes were dazed. Her fair and tender skin was like a transparent porcelain doll. Maupassant's brown eyes seemed to have turned red at this moment, filled with the determination to eat up this prey. Looking at her dazed eyes, his lips curled up seductively and he smiled devilishly. He lowered his head and nibbled on her ear, hoarsely saying, "Little brother Ling, give me some reaction." She was so innocent and cute that he wanted to laugh. Huang Ling replied softly but did not do anything. Her limbs were soft. How could she respond? Huff! Suddenly, she felt a tearing pain all over her body. Huang Ling was in so much pain that her whole body twitched. Huang Ling, do you know who I am? Maupassant lowered his head and bit her ear. Brother Mo. Maupassant's lips curled into a satisfied smile. Say, Brother Mo, I love you. Where did this guy get so much nonsense from? Maupassant pressed on her body and smiled seductively. My woman. From now on, you are my woman, Maupassant's woman. Very proud. Very proud. Huang Ling, remember this. I'm your man. The man of this life. I'll remember this. Maupassant is my man. Maupassant was satisfied. He sucked on her lips affectionately, taking her breath and tasting her sweetness. The white bedsheet was gradually dyed with dazzling flowers. It proved that she had turned from a girl into a woman. Maupassant was not in a hurry to finish it. This was their first time. He wanted their first time to be romantic and emotional. Huang Ling, from now on, you belong to me. Maupassant's voice was filled with a strong sense of pride and dominance. He lay on the bed with her in his arms. Huang Ling felt her mouth go dry and didn't want to say anything. Only I can treat your body as I wish. She made it sound as if other men were interested in her body. What kind of wedding do you want? Maupassant gently kissed Huang Ling's hair. Her wet hair carried her scent. Wedding. Huang Ling's blurred eyes lit up when she heard this. What kind of wedding did she want? Will you give me any kind of wedding? Huang Ling asked cautiously. Raise your head and look at me. Look at the man who loves you. Huang Ling raised her eyes and looked at Maupassant with a hint of charm in her eyes. This Maupassant was different from the usual. His skin had turned red because of the heat of the jade fire. But it was more sexy and wild. Maupassant looked at her and said, I've given you my man. What else won't I give you? Then I want a grand and luxurious wedding, is that okay? Huang Ling asked in a low voice. Yes, not to mention a grand wedding, I'll even give you my brother Maupassant teased. You're just a man. How is it grand? Men can also be grand, silly girl. Does it still hurt? Huang Ling felt it for a moment and shook her head. Her face was red. It doesn't hurt anymore. Do you want it? If not, I'm going to take a shower. Seeing that he was about to get up, Huang Ling hurriedly grabbed his arm. No. Ha. Don't what? Maupassant deliberately teased her. Don't take a shower, if not, then what are we going to do? Huang Ling blushed and threw caution to the wind. Do whatever you want. Chapter 1143. He put his mouth close to her ear and said in a hoarse voice, in this life, it's yours. Momo, do you want speed? Yes, how about this? Do you like this? Yes. The current Huang Ling was like his puppet. His mind was blank, and whatever he said was the truth. Huang Ling, I like your voice, call. Huang Ling, say you love me, say you love Momo. However, the only response he got was silence. Huang Ling lay there motionless. Her face, which was originally red, turned dark red with a hint of purple. Huang Ling. He patted her face, but Huang Ling did not respond. He put his finger in front of her nose, and her breathing was very weak. Maupassant's pupils shrank as he thought of something. He quickly pulled out, tied a bath towel around himself, and put on a long windbreaker. Then, he quickly wrapped Huang Ling in a quilt, carried her, and rushed out. It was dark again. One was naked, and the other was wearing a bath towel and a long windbreaker. When the two of them appeared in the office of the doctor on duty, the two female doctors in the office were stunned. In fact, when Maupassant carried Huang Ling out of the car and rushed into the hospital, it attracted a lot of strange gazes. Save her, she fainted. Hurry. Maupassant said to the female doctors anxiously. The two female doctors saw that Maupassant was very handsome, and his fringe was still dripping with sweat. He was very sexy, so their attitude towards him was quite good. They quickly took Huang Ling downstairs for a checkup. 15 minutes later, Huang Ling was lying on the hospital bed with an oxygen mask on. The reason she fainted was because her brain lacked oxygen. The reason why she was suffocating was because her body was delicate and could not withstand Gao Chao's blood flow. To sum it up, Huang Ling lacked exercise and could not withstand his strength. Maupassant had thought that she was suffering from some kind of family disease. Along the way, he was so worried that his heart was broken. He even blamed himself for being too aggressive, but he didn't expect that she was weak and couldn't take it. Maupassant sat in front of the bed with a dark face and looked at Huang Ling gloomily. She lacked exercise. Didn't she often square dance with her aunt? Or lack of training? Oxygen entered her brain, and Huang Ling slowly woke up. She opened her eyes, and the first thing she saw was a handsome, gloomy face. She was stunned. She felt that the scene before and after were very different. She asked, "Brother Amo, where are we?" Unlike their new bedroom. When Huang Ling looked down, she saw that there was an oxygen tube in her nostrils. This. She was at a loss. She remembered that they were doing the heat thing. How could it be? We're in the hospital, Maupassant said faintly. Hospital? Huang Ling thought. Could it be that having sex with him was a dream? Huang Ling, I think you're the only one who can suffocate and come to the hospital after doing that, right? Maupassant looked at Huang Ling, amused. Doing that? Suffocation and lack of oxygen. Huang Ling looked at Maupassant. Because he was in a hurry, he didn't button up his coat. His sexy chest and waist were exposed. The bath towel that was casually tied would fall off with a gentle tug. Huang Ling was embarrassed. How could this be? Maupassant leaned over, and Huang Ling saw his handsome face. She shrunk her neck and looked at Maupassant quietly. Her face was still red, and there was still a lingering charm left behind. And Maupassant's body part, which symbolized his strength, was finally resting. I've endured for so long. I've done enough foreplay, and in exchange, I got an instant break. Huang Ling, do you know that breaking in an instant is quite harmful to men? Huang Ling pursed her lips and didn't say anything. She didn't want to either. She looked at him quietly. Will you dislike me? Chapter 1144. Huang Ling pursed her lips without saying anything. She did not want to as well. She looked at him faintly. Will you despise me then? Yes, Maupassant replied without hesitation. If you don't train your body, we'll continue to be vegetarians. Train my body. The doctor said that you're too weak, panting after running a few steps. You're not weak. It's because you're too strong. You're despising me for being strong now. When you're over 30 or 40, you'll be proud of my strength. 30 tiger and 40 wolf. Huang Ling raised her hand and touched Maupassant's handsome face. I'm sorry. I wanted to walk with you through the clouds and reach Gaochao village together. Who knew that things would turn out like this? She needed him and longed for him. Maupassant could feel it. His teasing was unbearable for her as she wriggled on him, begging him to give it to her. He knew that her body was honest. However, her physique was not good and she had to change it. That's the end of our first time. The second time, I hope that you'll be strong enough to handle my body. Maupassant said indifferently. You mean to say that we'll do it after I train my body? Yes. How long will that take? Huang Ling was shocked. Maupassant laughed out. That will depend on your perseverance. Don't slack off for 2 days and 3 days. Brother Mo, you don't know this. The more one lacks training, the harder it will be for them to persevere. Maupassant replied nonchalantly, then I'll continue to be a vegetarian. You'll feel terrible. It's fine. I can find other women. Mei Nyo and Hei Nyo are not bad. They look strong. You should be strong as well. Maupassant. Huang Ling was so angry that she slapped him with the hand that was touching his face. It was not heavy and was just a playful slap. She looked at Maupassant's leg and muttered indignantly, "And you said that it belongs to me. It belongs to me for the rest of my life." Maupassant chuckled softly. "If you don't cherish it well, it will definitely not listen to you." Humph. Huang Ling glared at Maupassant, feeling wronged. She didn't want to say anything. She was so cute when she was angry. Maupassant smiled, held her hand, and coaxed, Okay, don't be angry. I won't find a girl. If I can't stand it, I'll find someone to make an inflatable doll with the same face and body as you, okay? Are you trying to coax me or make me angry?" Huang Ling wanted to cry but had no tears. "To coax you. Is this how you coax people? I'm encouraging you to exercise your body." "Huang Ling, I'm very strong, don't you know?" Huang Ling blushed. Yes, he was very strong. Ding Ding was the proportion of a man's height. He was so tall, more than 1.9 meters. That place was long and thick, and his physical strength was so good. He was incomparably mighty and strong. You can't always make me slam on the brakes and carry you to the hospital, right? Do you know how many strange looks I've received? I even heard someone saying that I almost made you feel good. Huang Ling was so embarrassed. I'll train well. For their future happy life. Good girl. Sigh, I was still thinking of making our first time romantic and emotional. Emotional, yes, but not romantic. Pfft. Huang Ling could not help but laugh. He was still dressed like this after being sent to the hospital. How romantic. Huang Ling woke up. After she had enough oxygen, she went home. Maupassant carried her into the room. He placed her on the bed and looked at the red patch on their sheets. Maupassant's eyes became deep and serene again. Chapter 11:45. When he thought of how charming and sweet she was on him, his throat tightened and he started to breathe heavily. Huang Ling was still wrapped in the blanket. Maupassant pulled her blanket and said hoarsely, "Go and take a shower." "My place, it's painful." It was a burning pain. Maupassant carried her up. "After the shower, I'll help you apply the ointment." He knew he would hurt her and had prepared the ointment. But the result was not as perfect as he thought. Both of them started to caress each other in the bathroom. It was really caressing. They did not do anything else. After the shower, Maupassant carried Huang Ling to the bed and took out the ointment. When he opened her legs and saw that it was red and swollen, his heart skipped a beat. Her injury was so serious. After applying the ointment, Maupassant hugged Huang Ling and lay on the bed. Maupassant felt uncomfortable with her soft body in his arms. But he wanted to hug her to sleep. She could feel the heat from his body and his heavy breathing. Huang Ling asked, "Momo, why don't we sleep separately?" Maupassant raised his eyebrows unhappily. "So soon?" "No way. No, I see that you are uncomfortable. Can you sleep well if you hug me like this? Even if you can't sleep well, don't sleep separately. If you sleep separately, you will not sleep well." Huang Ling pouted. "It's all because I'm weak. I can't satisfy you 7 times in a night." Maupassant snorted. "You think I will forgive you after saying all these? From tomorrow onwards, I want to run 10 laps around the neighborhood," Huang Ling said. Maupassant's eyes were deep and gloomy. "You dare to not run." All the good things were destroyed, and he could only wait for their second time. Huang Ling thought for a long time and looked at Maupassant. "Why don't I use other methods to solve this problem for you. She knew that he had suddenly stopped because they hadn't reached Gaochao village yet. When Maupassant heard this, his gloomy eyes flashed slightly as he looked at her with interest. What kind of method? Hands or mouth? In order to make him feel better, Huang Ling went all out. Let's do it together. At dawn, Huang Ling was woken up by Maupassant. She was still sleepy. She sat on the bed, rubbed her eyes, and looked at the man who had already washed up and was standing in the cloakroom to put on his clothes. What time is it? Why did you wake me up so early? Maupassant was wearing sportswear. Jogging. When Huang Ling heard about running, she felt a little discouraged. Do I really have to run? Maupassant turned around and smiled at her. I'll run with you. Huang Ling's face fell. She was lazy, so she lacked exercise. Hurry and get up. Go brush your teeth and wash your face. I'll make you a glass of milk. After running, we'll go eat breakfast together. Oh. Since he was going to accompany her, she would reluctantly go and exercise. Huang Ling got down from the bed and suddenly thought of something. She raised her head and looked at Maupassant. My clothes are wet. They're not dry yet. You're underestimating me. Your clothes are already prepared. Is that so? Huang Ling came to the cloakroom curiously. Looking at the shoes, clothes, bags, and hats inside, Huang Ling's eyes widened. Tycoon. Her clothes were neatly arranged. They were all branded and in her size. Huang Ling picked up a black bra in her size. She turned around and looked at Maupassant in confusion. Momo, how did you know my size? Maupassant looked at the bra in her hands coldly. When you were injured, I helped you apply medicine so many times. Yet, I still couldn't figure out your size. Chapter 1146. Now that you're standing naked in front of me again, I can tell what size you're going to wear. Maupassant's gaze shifted upwards and locked onto Huang Ling's chest. Naked. Huang Ling was shocked and quickly lowered her head to take a look. She was really standing naked in front of him. Last night, they had slept naked for the entire night. Ah. Huang Ling was embarrassed. Holding the hand with the tattoo, she covered her chest and rushed into the bathroom. She looked like a little rabbit running away. She was so cute that Maupassant could not help but laugh. Huang Ling pushed the door open with a bang. Maupassant chuckled. Silly girl, if you go into the bathroom naked, won't you come out naked as well? There was a walk-in closet. She could go into the walk-in closet to put on her clothes before washing up. Maupassant shook his head helplessly and took her clothes and a set of women's sportswear. He then went to the bathroom and knocked on the door. When Huang Ling rushed into the bathroom, she realized that she had only taken her tattoo and nothing else. She couldn't possibly go out in a tattoo, right? That scene was really weird. Should she ask Momo to bring her clothes in? Would he deliberately tease her and ask her to go out to get them? She stood there in a daze without washing up. When she heard a knock on the door, she gave a sudden shudder. Clothes. Without needing her to open the door, Maupassant pushed the door open and came in. He passed the clothes to her and his gaze swept across her body. Then, he patted her head gently. Come out quickly. I'll wait for you. Huang Ling took the clothes and nodded her head in a daze. Okay. Looking at Maupassant's back view, Huang Ling was speechless. Why was Momo so obedient? Wasn't he going to tease her? Brother Mo, I really can't run anymore. Huang Ling could not take it anymore after running 2 rounds in the neighborhood's field. She was panting and was really tired. She stopped, bent over, and pressed her hands against her legs, gasping for air. His throat felt like it was burning, and there was a ball of fire burning in his chest. Maupassant, who was running in front, heard her words and stopped. He turned around and stood there, looking at her like a king. Huang Ling looked up and begged, "Can I sit down and rest for a while?" "No," Maupassant said indifferently. "My legs are shaking." Maupassant looked at her legs. They were really shaking. "Last night, I did ask you to slam on the brakes, but before you did, I did my best to cooperate with you. My legs are sore." Huang Ling looked at Maupassant pitifully. "And my fingers are sore too." Maupassant raised his eyebrows. A trace of self-blame flashed through his deep eyes. He was anxious to see her healthy, but he forgot that she was still injured. Maupassant walked over. His heart was aching for her, but his mouth was attacking her. "How big is this field? You can't take it after 2 rounds." "My legs are sore." Huang Ling grabbed Maupassant's arm and made use of his strength to stand up straight. "How long have we been running?" 2 rounds added up to less than 8 minutes. "By then, how are you going to last for 2 hours?" 2 hours. You want me to run for 2 hours? Huang Ling was surprised. Wasn't that asking for her life? Maupassant chuckled and carried her up. "Silly woman, I'm not asking you to run for 2 hours. I'm asking you to enjoy 2 hours under me." When Huang Ling heard that, she blushed. "Brother Mo, a lot of people are looking at us." Huang Ling tugged at Maupassant's clothes. "Put me down, I'll walk by myself. They can watch if they want. Your legs are sore, and it's difficult for you to walk." You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.